Hello, everybody. It's very first of my teaching in Zoom. I had many sessions now in the last time with Zoom, but I didn't do such teaching, especially not with a psychophysical training or something like that. I had some chats just also at the weekend. I am Joerg Andres. I live close to Berlin in Germany, and I'm the founder of the Michael Chekhov International Academy. I'm over 35 years connected with the Chekhov work. First, I was a film director, and then I swapped to the, sorry for that, then I swapped to the Chekhov work. And since this time, I'm teaching, working, directing with the Chekhov work in different fields, for actors, for theater, and also for music, theater, singers, performers, musicians, and in theater therapy. So far to me, and I have to say first a very, very great thank you to Marjo-Riikka that she was or is offering it not only to me, also to others, to become part of that huge teaching session. What is a wonderful opportunity to meet you in a way. And this is also a question we already have, and I think many of you were thinking about that also. You don't know me, I don't know most of you. There are only very, very, very few names. When I were looking at the number of people, very few people I know, and so I don't know. You don't know me, I don't know you. This is a very special and interesting situation, yeah, to teach in this sphere. And it was very interesting what Jessica just experienced. And it is really something what we can think about. I was asking in my last 3 Zoom sessions for the theater therapy, the people just connect to the other, not by looking and getting fixed to the screen, just by open up your mind and try to connect with the people you have on the screen, and some you don't see, but you know there is a number of 51 now, and you connect with your mind through the heaven in this way to them. This is a very important fact, I think, what has to do with a real concentration process itself. One point I have to add in the beginning, also, sorry for that, pre-words. My English is not my mother tongue. My English is sometimes very funny. And sometimes instead of using the right word, I try to speak around that what I'm meaning. And please, anybody who feels you can't understand me, ask back or just ask into that session, into it. Okay. It was a nice question. What can I bring here? And I decided, because I got in these times from many of my students also the question, what can I practice? What can I do? What can I work? And I think there is one important point what we always can refresh, even when we have studied a long time the Chekhov technique, or when we have only a short-term connection with the Chekhov technique. And this is the psychophysical training itself. And there is sometimes a question when all people who are teachers here, they may know that question from themselves to the students, who is doing the daily exercising, the daily training? If the people come and get to school or to the training room, and you are the teacher, then the people do some training. But what are they doing when they are alone? What is the training what one can do alone? And the psychophysical training is one possibility. Of course, everybody can work on characters, on monologues, can work on anything what you would like to prepare. But there is a basic thing like the finger exercises for the piano player or for the violinist, these things to do something always with your instrument. And as we all know, our body is our instrument. But there is also a kind of an invisible body. And all that psychophysical training, from my understanding in the Chekhov work, is just building up this second body. Body is a too fixed word for it, but this, how to describe it? This is something what we train with our psychophysical training to develop our relationship to ourselves so that we become free to play with our body what we would like to play with. And it starts, of course, with movements. But with a psychophysical training, there is always involved our perception, our sensation, our feelings with that what we are training with the physical body. And through that psychophysical training, we develop our, as I call it, the artistic body. I know there are in the Chekhov word some different words for the same thing, and so we don't need to get irritated. When we hear another name, you will understand something what I work with when I enter the space for acting. This is the work for the characters, or when I direct something, the space where I'm directing something. I'm working not only anymore with my normal daily life, habits, daily life, body. To develop the other tools of the Chekhov technique, like imaginary body, like imaginary centers, like, of course, psychological gesture, and all these other parts of it, I have a basic opportunity to develop. And this is to have a relationship to my body as my instrument. This is the actor's relationship to oneself. And this relationship is not only to the physical body, to the physical movement. It is, as we all have explored, also to our soul, to have a relationship to my soul, and to have a relationship to all my thinking, to my imaginations, to my dreams, and whatever comes up in this area. This is what I would like to suggest to you, to step in, to do some very possibly things here in this little space. You see my space, it's under the roof. It's not so much space to have big movements, but it may be possible to do something. And I would like to invite you, please, as you like, and it is as Marjo-Riikka says, everything is a suggestion, everything is in the freedom of your creative individuality, and it is all something what we get from each other, what we would like to explore. All that psychophysical training is for exploration or research, as it is a word we use in Germany very often. It's a new German word, research. And this exploration, this is always a task in the psychophysical training. There is never a kind of fulfill it in the right way. It is, how can I explore again and again and new how it is working. So I don't know how we manage it now. I would like to invite you to get up from your seat or where you are now and enter your space for a moment, and we will do a first thing what is also connected with that what Jessica brought up, this different way, different kind of concentration, but we put it together with the body. Okay, here we go. I have to arrange a little bit this. I have to swap this view that I can hopefully see few people there. There are many just only on phone, and some other are in the space. Thank you very much for coming. So, we are standing here on the ground, and maybe you open up a little bit very freely and widen up with your body. It's very funny, I tell you, that I do that here to show you something, but I don't want to show, I just want also do that, what I suggest to you. And then you contract a little bit, whatever you would like to contract very freely. You can also contract your face, or you can contract your hands, you can contract your toes, if you have shoes or bare feet. Okay, and we have a little bit walk on our place. So walking, just walking, just walking. Good, and we can do it faster. It is, we touch the ground with the toes and roll our feet to the heel. Toes, heel, toes, heel, toes, heel. So maybe you hear now my floor ground. So that's, and to do it a little bit faster, toes, heels, and to go very fast if you like. And to slow it down. Thank you very much. It's funny, yeah? It's really funny. Okay. Now, everybody has worked with a center in the chest, or it was mentioned many times. So I would like to go to that point again. And there is one moment that I would like to suggest first, that you stand still and with your mind you go deeper and deeper, deeper through your body to the sole of your feet. And when you stand, you may sense the sole of your feet on the ground for a moment. If you would like to work with an image, there is, you can imagine that the shower, you are under the shower, and the shower takes all this daily life dust from you and bring it down. And you stand upright, but your full body connects to the ground, as I call it, to the heaviness, gravity. You sense your sole of your feet on the ground, in the shoes or on the floor. And you may imagine this goes deeper and deeper into the ground. I have now 2 levels of the house. I go deeper to the basement. Mentally, it goes, I connect to the earth. This is a way we can imagine from our concentration. It is a kind of a focused concentration. We connect to the center of the earth, more or less. It's very hard to imagine to go to the center of the earth, but we go down in this direction. It is a kind of a focus, the focus to a point, to a center outside of me, deep in the ground. And you may sense that you have your body grounded, sensing it in the weight the body has. And when you look into your room now, not be concentrated too much on that heaviness. When you look into the space, look around. I have here a window, I can look out into the upcoming evening. You still sense this quality of gravity or this quality of heaviness. So we have here a kind of a focused concentration to the center, to the earth center. And then when you look around, now you go with your mind to the highest point of your head. Can you find with your mind the highest point of the head? And when you find it, do you sense that something happens in your body? Is there anybody who is sensing something? Yeah, could you, maybe you can say yes or no. It could happen that you sense a kind of uprightness inside of you. It's not only anymore that you go down and you are going up a little bit. And you may imagine, and now we come to an interesting point, the zenith above you from the highest point of your head. Or you can say there's a star above you. And from this star, there's a full sphere of heaven. You can also do it with such a kind of a movement. You go to the zenith, and then you sense there's a full sphere of heaven, very far away, all around you. This is interesting. I open up with my mind to the sphere. That means, and I would like to connect it with that what Jessica was saying, I open up, I go out, I have a concentration to the world around me. I'm concentrated on it. It feels different from that focusing to the ground. And this is a double process in all of the concentration processes. This focused and this opening. And from that layer, I can go to my center in the chest. For instance, you can do all the things also in another way around. But when you go to the center in the chest, because this is the space between, here you have to find the balance from here, with your breathing, with your heartbeat, with your blood. Here you find the balance, and it is always this, not to fall to the ground and not getting exhausted. Being in balance, being one with yourself. Go to the center in the chest, and you may radiate from the center in the chest to your full body. I use this suggestion that the center in the chest, it's also called the ideal center, but to give an image, one can say there is the sun. The sun is shining, and the sun has a quality of warm and light, like the ideal center in this quality. And the sun shines into your chest area, and you can lead that with your mind, and it goes to the arms, shoulders, arms, goes to the lower body, goes to the legs and feet. And now from inside of your body, you touch the ground. Standing before there, you got from outside the impression there is the earth. Now you go inside and now you bring it together. And from the center in the chest, you go also through the neck, passing the larynx, going to the tongue, mouth, coming to the highest point of the head. So you connect from inside, from your center in the chest, you connect with heaven. This is very simple. This is very much what we are as human beings on earth. We are on earth, but we are also under heaven all the time. And in our life, even in our creativity, in our working, we try to find the balance between both. This is a process. You may sense this, try to sense it for a moment. Grounded, heaven, open concentration, grounded, focus, concentration, both here. Yeah, you know, connecting from the center in the chest to your colleagues, to your ensemble, to all the other people. But be grounded. Now you can cross the threshold in the space you would like to work, and I would like to give you then more movement something. But yeah, let's say crossing the threshold as you like for that next bit. As I said, I have to learn, and I don't know, maybe I can ask Marjo-Riikka, is it good to have now some questions if you have a question, or shall we put on the questions later?
I think it's up to you, however you want, where do you want the concentration to be next? So I think both are very good options.
Okay. Everybody feels, or everybody, it's very hard to say, because who is everybody? Anybody of you? Is it okay when we continue and go to some movement? Yeah? Okay. Nobody says no. Okay, then it's great. Okay.
It's yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Sorry? Sorry?
I was just saying yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, I would like to ask you to do just some free movements with your body. Yeah. Use your fantasy. You can also do daily life movement as brushing the ground, or you can bring your clothes in the right way, something daily life movements, and you can do also such a gesture to yourself with the body. Okay. I would like to suggest to you something, another kind of awareness for our movements. Because in this later work with the psychological gesture, in the work with all these inner processes, even imagination has a lot of movements. And with this movement, we can explore first the movement with our body. And when we do the normal movement, so it feels sometimes very good. Even that is helpful. When you do some gardening afterwards, you feel also good in your body. That's great. But this is not what we absolutely need for the artistic work. It's basic, it's helpful. I would like to suggest move one arm first and move it in this way, maybe. Forward, backward. Can you see that? And you do it as you do it as a daily life movement. You can move it up and down. Okay. You connect your center in the chest with your full body now. Center in the chest, streaming 5 directions. From here, the warm light goes to the legs and feet. From here, the light goes to the arms and fingertips. From here, the light, the warm light, goes to the head. Passing here, the larynx, tongue, ears, eyes, all the senses. The 5-star. From the center in the chest, connecting your 5-star. So the center in the chest is not only the actor's ideal center, that's true, that's wonderful, but it has also, when we understand or take this phrase from Chekhov, all movements should start from this area. It is also a kind of a center for the movement. So it's always, when I move, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, drinking a cup of tea, sitting down, I always move my 5-star. Always the 5-star I move. Please try to move with this awareness, just as a movement, this 5-star that you sense, okay, that's interesting. It's a very flexible 5-star. All that directions. It is an exploration for you. You can't be wrong, but how does it feel like? What is a sensation for you? Is there something you can explore? That says, my full body is involved. When you move only one arm, you sense also there is an echo in the head and there's an echo in the feet. Always the 5-star is connected. The reaction in the other parts of your body may be very, very tiny, very little. But there is always a reaction. Try just the opposite. Stand and move here without the connection to the feet. Don't sense the feet. How does it feel? You can move your head without sensing it in your fingers. You can move your legs and feet without having it in your hands. You have no sensation in your hands while you do that. Just for exploration. Isn't it funny? And how is it when I move my feet and legs, but there's always, through the center and the chest, I'm sensing an echo and reaction in my head, in my fingers. Try carefully out, if you like. Moving your feet and sense there is an impulse coming even to your hands and fingers. You are not moving them very much. But there is something always reacting. Your head, your eyes. Nothing is frozen. You move your arms and you sense something in your toes. You sense something in your head. The center and the chest, the 5-star, is always connecting all your movements. The same is, and this is of course in the speech training, when you speak, that you sense also these impulses of speaking, the rhythm of your words. You sense them also in your full body. You can of course speak only with the head, and there's nothing what is echoing in your body. This is a very nice exploration to find out more and more, how can I, in all my movements, connect with my body, have the sensation of a kind of a full body movement. Doesn't matter if I only move the hand for smoking. Can I sense it in my toes? Is there an echo? Okay, this is one bit to develop the artistic body, to create a relationship to oneself, to their own movements. When we go from that, or maybe it's a point of a question now for this funny thing with a 5-star. Or shall we continue the next bit? How does it work?
We can wait. Let's say we'll have a little moment and see if any questions arise for you. Okay, how does that sound like? Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I would like to go to the next bit.
Or you can go. You're the teacher. You get to decide now.
Yeah, I try a little bit to have an echo from the from the participants in this nice and funny and enjoying the session.
If there's any spyback, anybody needs a question, you can ask now, and then we will have Joerg continue.
I don't have a question, but can I say it or should I type it?
Yeah, you can say.
I just want to say, wow. For me, sometimes I find it hard, like the concept of using my whole body and doing it and like being connected. I find it hard to do it like organically, but this like 5-star, it just really blew my mind. I'm like, I feel so alive and like excited, and it feels so easy and organic, and thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. And I'm happy that it works even in this great distance here from Berlin to, where are you? In
Los Angeles.
So it's a nice distance.
Yes.
And
wow, my mind's blown.
Yeah, we see when we try to connect with an open concentration to other people. and invite them in our soul, then, there is something possible. I think this is what Jessica also were exploring.
Yeah, well, also how you said like the balance of being grounded and then being connected like to heaven, but then to have the balance here. And I know that the center is here and it always comes from here, but to think of it that even when I'm moving like one part of my body, but to still have everything like, you know, like lit up and heated up. And I don't know, I just like got that for some reason.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought at the beginning when we did those heaven and downward, it was energizing. It was good. You know, it helped me like to get in the right energy. It was good.
Yeah, yeah. This is of course the aim. We step with the psychophysical training in the field of, and there are different terms around us. We step into the field of the life body, some people name it, or in the world of living forces, or however you find the terms for it. This is not so important for now to have the words. But when you say energizing, I think many of you understand what he means, that it connects you to something what makes you alive, what you feel alive. And for the psychophysical training, it is as a foundation of all the Chekhov work, it is, besides the imagination, what is a second foundation, imagination, concentration, it is so important that we develop through that another, I call that the artistic body. The body I am working for my artistic aims. And this body is trained to have this possibility. I can switch it on. I cross the threshold and say, okay, I'm grounded, centered, and in heaven. And I have this energy. You know, when you have read this from Chekhov about the threshold, he says, I cross the threshold in the space and there's always activity. But what does it mean? It doesn't mean there is, I'm active, I'm active, I'm active, I'm active. There's an activity just in this meaning, there is some energy, I'm energized. Okay, this was for the body. I would like to go now to the space. And we do this movement, or if you like, you can do such a movement with your arm, hand, this, and of course you have the connection to your center in the chest, and you try to sense this movement. Can you for a moment close your eyes and sense this movement, and hopefully also a little bit the echo in your body. Sense this movement. You can do it up and down. Can you sense the movement itself? It has no meaning. It's not a gesture. It's just moving my arm. This is our body connection. Now, you imagine that when we start with that hand open, the open hand, this, I come closer, the hand and the arm and this here, you imagine that you push in this way. Maybe push is not the right English word, I don't know, but that you push the air, you push the air. And when you move back your arm, you push the air there in this direction. You push the air. You push the air. You go with your mind, not anymore into your body. This is a basic thing you have learned. But now your imagination goes pushing the air, pushing the air. And one don't need to watch the air, but you can imagine how the air is moving through the space. Can do it with the other arm. Wherever your movement goes to, you push the air. And you can extend it, I hope it's the right word, you can extend it to your chest or both arms, pushing, pushing to the back, pushing, also the chest, also the legs and feet. Your full body, every part what is moving is pushing the air. And you will sense when the movement comes to an end, your mind going with the air goes into the space. Have you realized? Maybe it's too fast. You don't need to watch it. You don't need to look at it. No, you can push, but your mind goes there, here. The movement goes and goes and goes. You can up, push the air to heaven, push the air to ground. Is it possible? Is it a sensation? Yeah, so that you move the air and it moves through the full space, your little room. You can move it so far, it goes through the window out to the next building. You don't need physical power for it. It's very feeling of ease, very much feeling of ease. But your mind goes to that pushing the air. Okay. Let's do it, because we would like to do it then as an experiment. Have the sensation that you push that together, push the air with that arm and with that arm at the same time. You can also come together, but how does it feel when you have the sensation of pushing the air? Here, here. Is there a sensation for exploration? Okay. What is that? Okay. My body knows the movement. The body is always connected through the 5-star. But I have now my imagination working with a space, not in an abstract way. It's a kind of an imagination, of course, to work with the air. But this is okay. I move the air and the air goes as long as my mind is following. That was right. Okay, now take the other arm, and now we have the opposite. When you move forward, you pull the air. It is from far away, or you are here and you pull the air, all the air behind this movement, you pull it. And you sense how this stream of pulling the air comes to you. And you pull it when you go up, pull it from the ground. It's purely imagination. And pulling from heaven. Pulling the air in any direction. Try to extend that to your chest, to your legs and feet. Stepping forward is pulling the air. Stepping backward, pulling the air from the front. It's your imagination. But your body is connected, always safe through the 5-star. Pulling with your bottom, with your back, pulling with your chest. The air, it's all the air you take. Is that possible? A little bit? Just the opposite? Is it enjoyable? Can you follow? Is it okay? Is it an experience?
I find that it's harder for me. I find it's harder for me to feel my legs than my arms.
Yeah, that's quite clear. And you will see when you try it once again, it will be possible. Is to go with your imagination to that part, yeah, to here, and wow, yeah, not looking at it, but it's your imagination that I pull the air, even with the feet when I move backward. I think, sorry, I don't want say such things, but it's just a question of experiencing, yeah, to trying out more and more. That's a great thing. But with your arms, it's possible, yeah, Ellen? Okay. Okay. So now we have a little experiment. With both arms, we pull the air. How does that feel? Pulling the air. What happens around you? Pulling the air. Is it a sensation? Can you explore something? Can you swap? Pushing the air. How is that with the imagination? What is a sensation? How is the echo in your body? It's working with the space. Pressing the space. Or pulling it. There is a kind of opening behind you or around. By pulling the air, there is so much on around you. Can you imagine it? Imagine doesn't mean picture it in your mind. Imagine is just the sense for that of what is invisible. Okay. Let it a little bit go. And it's the third step in this direction. And I have to look to the, we have to come to an end, I believe. The third step for that is doing both. Pushing and pulling, having the sense. Pushing and pulling at the same time. Can I manage it with my imagination? What is the sensation? The relationship of my movement to the space. First, of course, it's very nice to experience in this area with the arms and hands. And if you like, you can extend it pushing and pulling the air with your full body movement. What is a sensation? Can you sense something? Can you experience something? Can you explore something? Maybe it gives a sensation of being in the full space. When you do a daily life action, is it? With this sensation, what I mean with that sensation is the full movement is full space connected. Can do a daily life movement. My mind is open to have the sense for that the movement is in the space. This is, of course, with this pushing and pulling the air, this is a kind of a training element. We will not think later on pushing and pulling the air. That's not the meaning. But to develop the sensibility in our artistic body, for that, this is maybe helpful. The 5-star, the inner connection to the body, and at the same time, then with this space, moving, pushing and pulling the air with this imaginary, with this imaginative terms of imagination for that. Yes, I think that is a beginning. It's something in this way. It's very simple. It's a very basic thing. It is not all of the psychophysical trainings. There are the other points going deeper into gravity and how is it called in America? It's called with a different term. I have it heaviness and lightness and balance, and also with expansion, contraction as one of the absolutely basic archetypal phenomena for the psychophysical training. And then the 4 kinds of movement to develop that. And all is connected with the imagination. I need always a imagination, the sense for this invisible what happens through it. And this is helping us to develop the, as I call it, the artistic body. You may, some say maybe, or maybe I'm wrong with that, but I would say some say also energetic body also. But I mean really this, through the training for the actor, build it up possibilities to swap from daily life state into the creative state with your body, with your instrument. This is the psychophysical training for me, is the tuning of the instrument all the time. Polish the instrument and clean the instrument and tune it so that we can express with the own body what is the character, the invisible of the character. It's a creation of a sensibility for the movement, and the sensibility we need, of course, absolutely later on for all the psychological gesture. And this sphere around, the space around the body, then you imagine this as an imaginary body. When you work with imaginary center, inside, outside, around you, all that is connected with a so-called psychophysical training, creating the artistic body. So maybe I think the time is more or less over. Is that right, Marjo-Riikka?
So we have about 12 more minutes of the class time left, and I would like to, I mean, in the end, I will just wrap up and thank everybody, but that sort of just a wonderful class. Would you like to offer participants chance to ask questions? So how would you like to?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I have questions. That would be very nice. And we can speak about that. Also, you can also send me an email or connect me through ChekhovAcademy.com, Chekhov Academy, one word.com, and write me an email. It's info@ChekhovAcademy.com if you like.
And Joerg's website is also, whenever you got the email about this training, his website and everything is, you just click his name and there it is, if you forget it.
Yeah. So, but now it would be nice to this session, how it was working for you, and if you have any question.
I have a question. I kind of want to echo what Elise said, that I have trouble. I have trouble kind of visualizing movement in my entire body. And the 5-star and pushing and pulling was really wonderfully helpful, and it kind of clicked in place. The question that I have is that when I was doing the pulling and pulling part of it, I found that I was losing ease, and I had to keep reminding myself, find ease. And I'm just curious if you have any suggestion. I'm sure like by doing it and practicing and working on it, it becomes easier, but I'm curious if you have any suggestions for finding ease in the movement.
Yeah, very good question. Yeah, I think you are not alone with that. we have in our daily life body, we have very fast a tendency to use too much muscle power, and we think we need to have this muscle power for it. And this is also the question in the Chekhov training, to find even in this way the balance between how much muscle tension, muscle power do you need for a movement. And of course, what is very, very simple, the kind of movement of it's called with an element, it's air, the flying movement. The flying movement, but the word flying is sometimes leading to it is just, you can, when you get up, you can take your hand, yeah, put it into the space, and everybody can do it also if you like. You can also sit, but for you, Nami, yeah. So you put it in the air. Now find the balance. How is it? How can you take off all these holding energy, all that power in it, so that the arm goes very soft down? And can you stop it? And how can you make it that you lift the arm a little bit? And we have here also that you can imagine the air here is holding your arm. Put your arm into the air and trust that the air will hold it. Around, it's around. And sometimes the air is a little bit okay, and then it goes up. And then the heaviness of the physical body, the physical, goes down again. And one can play a little bit with this flying movement. The air is carrying my arm. Wow. And it's a very nice sensation when you, I show it now in this way, when you put your arm to the ground or to the table, and this is feeling of lightness or flying, but you come closer to the ground, but you hold it. It is not touching. It's not touching. Not touching. Just there, very, very easy, very easy, very easy. And then you let it. You take off all your lightness energy. Lightness energy. What is that? All that, you take it off and put it on your hand. What happens then? You give just the heaviness to your hand, of your hand to the hand. But now find back, give some impulse into it, that it can just be like a leaf in the autumn wind, moved very easily through the air. This is part of the 4 kinds of movement, the training of the 4 kinds of movement, to find this moving in lightness. Yeah, we have gravity and lightness. I call it lightness. There is I have not the term now, forgive me, how it is, what I learned in America. And I like to speak with lightness. It's the opposite to gravity, to heaviness, lightness.
Right.
And I play with the lightness, and then I can use, for the feeling of ease, to play with this lightness, and also for the full body.
Joerg, there's a question about what is a sensation. How would you describe a sensation? In case there's one question and maybe somebody else as well. I would love to hear how you describe what sensation is.
Yeah. We have in German the word Empfindung. Empfindung. And it is not so much connected from the root of the word Empfindung to that what we have with sensation, with the senses, sensation, senses, yeah. And with this English term sensation, with Empfindung, it is just the pre-quality for a first feeling. Sensation is just to become aware of that, what you would like to become aware. That is, in these terms, the movement. And this is when you can close your eyes. We tried that at the beginning. Can I, in this way, sense the movement? Do I have a sensation of the movement itself? It's a very, very subtle process, very subtle perception. We have also, when we look with our eyes to some colors, we have also there a sensation. We don't separate that in daily life. We think we see, we say we see it. But there is, before we see, or what means before. With the seeing is very much connected to the sensation about that what is there. I don't know if that helps.
There's a little following question for it in the chat window, and then Erika also had a question about something else prior to that regarding whether there's a place for disconnected movement if it applies to a character. Maybe Erika, you wanna speak to this, or Joerg, if you wanna first finish with your sensations, because Matt had a question. There's two questions I'm seeing. One of it about what is sensation, and Matt is asking, is a sensation a perception of an impulse to move or perform an action? That's one question. So maybe Joerg, you get to pick. Can you see the chat window?
Yeah, I see it, yeah. A sensation, the perception of an impulse to move or perform an action. The impulse is another thing. Oh my God.
Okay, I also wrote about sensation.
More complicated. The impulse is something else, but you can sense the impulse. You can have a sensation for the right moment of the impulse. It's the openness for that, what you would like to go with and what you are doing. And there is, of course, also a concept what is going beyond the five senses. And then it comes a little bit also closer. There is another sense for the sense of movement as a real sense. And the sense of movement, this is what we are also very much developing through the Chekhov technique. Everybody has a sense for the movement, but we have not the awareness of it so much. And when you go with the training in the sport, they use the imagination very much to develop the right movements for this or this sport action. There is also a kind of developing the sense for this movement. And in the Chekhov technique is all that psychophysical training, and what we already did is just helping to develop the sensation, the sense of the movement. We need also to, I think, we need to develop senses. It's not, we need also to develop our seeing sense. We need to develop our listening, hearing sense. We need to develop our taste sense to make it more sensible, our touching sense. And these senses we need also to develop. It's given on one side, but as much as we go into the artistic world, we need to develop them, not staying with our daily life sensations in it. And so the sense for movement is another one, to develop it through this training, psychophysical training. It is because you connect your mind with that what you're doing. You give an image to it. You have a certain aim for it. And so you connect your mind with it, and this creates the sense for that what you're doing. It's a kind of a combination. It sounds a bit abstract. So the typical, the physical and beyond, the energetic, the atmosphere, to say, okay. Feeling the energy body, or have I just jumped? Oh, there's another. Yeah, okay. Feeling the energy body, this is a question what you understand with the energy body. What does it mean to you, energy body? And do you mean to have energy, to have power or something? Or do you mean the field of living forces, feeling alive? And I would from my understanding, more going to that last point, feeling alive, feeling connected with my life forces. That means also, in a way, I feel grounded and under heaven, and I feel a little bit healthy, even when I feel healthy in general. Not every little pain makes me just letting go all the energy. So it's a question of the living forces of the living body, and this, I think, it's what I experienced through the psychophysical training. I just also strengthen it. I develop it. It's very interesting that we get healthier when we do the psychophysical training. It's so funny. That maybe it's a bad answer. What shall I? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is the terminology. You wrote that, Marjo-Riikka. We can have sensation to any part of the techniques, really. Yeah, that's a kind of an answer. Yeah.
Sorry, I started answering to Tim's question because I know him as an actor really well.
Yeah. It's okay.
Please
It's
chime
okay.
in. Yes. I want to hear your answer, of course, too. Yes. We are a little bit on time now, but I have no, if you are good to continue, Joerg, I'm happy to be here, whoever wants to ask. So they can have your answers.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to go too much over it, but we can spend, let's say, for 2 or 3 questions at a time, if people want. But also we see that people have to leave. It was a long time to be in this space together. Is there any question?
Yes, I had an earlier question.
Erika?
Yes. At the beginning of the first exercise, you had us explore both the 5 points of movement as well as disconnected movement, not from the center, not from our core. And I was wondering if there is a place for disconnected movement as well, or is that not the basis of Chekhov technique and its application?
I think it's always very good to do the opposite of the training, so that we become the explorer. And maybe there is sometimes a specific need for a character that we create, and this is the other point, that we create disconnected movements. But this is a basic for that, is that I can connect the movements when I want to have created disconnected movements. This is very interesting. You can try that when you imagine any crazy person with some crazy movements, very consciously to create this disconnected movements. But the basic thing is you are able to have this connection to all the movements. And then you can create them, because we are creating the character. We are not my body. I'm not the character. I'm creating the character. And this is the other part, the relationship of the actor to the part. And for that, we need the relationship to ourselves. Maybe it's an answer in this way.
Can I ask something? Can I ask? I don't know if you hear me.
I can very hardly understand. Dana, I haven't understood.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yeah. Not
Yes.
very clear, but possible.
Okay, I will try. You said something that tuning the instrument to express the invisible of the character.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean by saying invisible?
The imagination of the character is not the picture of a character. The picture is, of course, part of the imagination of a character. But when we try to understand what Chekhov is saying, or when I try to understand that, then he says the imagination goes to the invisible, to the unseen. And what is it? What is a person? What is a character, even in daily life? How much difficulties do we have to understand or to sense sensation, to sense the other people, the other person, from not from their surface, not from that how they have the makeup or how they are dressed or how their physical habits are. What can we understand to understand the person, the people, the individuality? And this is also the part of this, what I tried to express. When we use for a character, work for the character with our body, we should work, or we work mostly with our artistic body. And with this artistic body, I can find out how to express the invisible, the inner life, the inner situation of this character. That is a very interesting, how to say, layer, field, or whatever, because this is what we would like to do. And then, of course, it comes through my physical body, but through my physical body connected or involved with this artistic body, it comes to the expression. It's not only me anymore. And so I show something about the character, what is not visible in this way, but I show it. It's the same when you look to a painting. The visible are the colors, but the colors and the structure of the material on the canvas, this is not the painting. The painting, the art of the painting is the invisible, the not what it is speaking like. And this is a big art for the painter to put these colors on in a way so that there is something speaking what is not visible through the visible. I don't know, Dana, if that was a part of the answer.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, everybody. Thank you very much that you were going with me and that you stayed the time with me and that I could meet you. Even I didn't know you before, and I tried to connect to all the 55 from the beginning with my radiation. And when you try that with your next Zoom meeting, you will also become able to explore something about this idea, because it is both. You create a distance to the funny screen on one hand, but on the other side, you create a connection to somebody who is there. You only can imagine. You see something, but this is your imagination. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Marjo-Riikka, for this opportunity, and I enjoyed that very much. And everybody helped me very much to explore my very first online teaching.
Thank you so much, Joerg. Thank you. Thank you, all the participants. And I will make sure that you know, the information you can reach Joerg through his own website as well. Maybe do you want to put it in the chat window once? Chekhov Academy.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. And maybe I can say on tomorrow evening, no, New York time, 10 o'clock New York time, Lisa Dalton and me, we have a 1-hour chat about creative individuality.
Oh, where can we find the link?
I think Lisa was sending it to you.
Ah.
She said,
hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, Marjo-Riikka, I did send you the link. It's 10 a.m. New York time. I know it's early for West Coast. But you do have the link, Marjo-Riikka. And
my email, take it and then post it here as well.
Yes.
I don't have an email. Oh, okay. I don't see that I would have an email from you right now, but I'll look for it. And oh, can you say what it is, and somebody help me type it?
Okay.
Yes. It is the meeting ID is 586-830-488, and there's a password which is 679832.
Let me read this back for you to make sure that it is correct. I got the meeting ID 586-830-488, password 679832.
Perfect.
And this is for Lisa and your Zoom. Is this on Zoom?
It is on Zoom, and it is a 3-session series. We're going to be concise in 1 hour, and it will be every Monday for the next 3 weeks, discussing the higher ego.
Can you say one more time the time? One more time the time.
10 a.m. New York time.
10 a.m. New York time. Thank you. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure I posted it on the chat window.
I just put my phone number for WhatsApp on the chat, and anybody who contact me there, I can send you the link then through WhatsApp.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So, and if anybody didn't get any of this info, then you now have everybody's website. On Chekhov Studio's website, there is Lisa's website, Joerg's website, and their contact info. So you can find them in so many places now. There's no excuse. Thank you.
And Marjo-Riikka, I did just text it to you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you. I got it.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful evening or day or whatever time of the day it is for you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Joerg, so much. What a beautiful class. Absolutely wonderful. You're getting many thanks from the chat window.
Okay. So I will leave now.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good night. Moi moi. Bye bye.
Moi moi.
Moi moi. Moi moi. Okay, I think somebody might still be here, but I'm going to end the meeting right now. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, everybody.